Episode 537 of the TV Dudes, recorded May 2nd, 2025. Hacks. I'm sorry. I read that like it was personal. Hacks. This week, we catch up on Season 4 of Hacks over on HBO Max, or just Max, or HBO, or whatever they're called now.
Whatever.
Their logo's confusingly similar.
After Ava's big extortion move at the end of last season, we're just going to see what the working environment is like for their new late-night show.
Well, I'm sure it's fine. I mean, there's no character in Hacks that's a petty grudge-holding nutjob, right?
Nah.
Yeah. Well, before we get to that, I'm Les.
And I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes. You know, a show about late-night shows isn't all we watched.
To the diaries.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
Well, we skipped all of our folks that have been wondering. I know everybody at home has been concerned.
Where is our rookie watch?
We were behind on the rookie a little bit for a couple of weeks. We've taken a break after the April Fool's episode.
No, we had our Philian, Philophilian.
Our Philophilian. And so in that gap left, we have watched a ton of movies. I rewatched Azrael, which you and I had watched months ago. But Fanny brought it up just out of the blue. She'd seen a trailer for it. I guess it's on new streaming networks and stuff. And so we watched the almost entirely silent, like everybody's mute. It's not a silent film, but like no one speaks.
Mm-hmm.
Azrael.
Yeah. Azrael.
And fun movie. Has a lot of fun action things. I still think her getting in a fight with the dude and pulling the gun over to the side and almost deafening herself in one ear to kill him that's a brutal long fight sequence when she goes back to just rain hell on these people's fucking camp.
Yeah.
But then it takes a crazy swing at the end that you're either going to like or not. And I see why it's kind of a fest movie and not widely known. That said, it was cool, and it was fun watching it with somebody for the first time. Because of that movie, it shares a writer with The Guest. So we watched the trailer for that because Fanny's watched Downton Abbey. She was like, "Oh my gosh, Matthew," and I was like, "You mean that psycho? Sure." So yeah, her Dan Stevens love meant that I got to watch someone watch The Guest for the first time, which it's not a twist exactly. That movie just escalates. But The Guest is fucking awesome to watch. Like it's a fun movie, but it's fun to watch someone watch The Guest. If you've seen The Guest, you should go find a stranger and bomb it on them right now. That's your fucking Project Mayhem challenge here, or whatever, Fight Club style.
Let them experience the steely blue gaze of Dan Stevens.
Oh my god! So what all movies did you get up to?
Well, I mean, we're gonna talk about Havoc for a Patreon, or are we gonna talk just?
We should probably talk Havoc for a Patreon. That's some Gareth Edwards. Edwards?
Gareth Edwards. Not Evans.
Not Edwards.
The Raid guy.
Yes.
But yeah, we watched
the British filmmaker that makes the craziest action movies I've ever seen. Like, for being a dude that doesn't look like he can really throw a roundhouse kick at me.
Yeah, well, I think we'll have that in our back pocket as a Patreon.
Yeah, let's we'll Patreon that up.
But I definitely would recommend going and watching it.
Absolutely, Havoc's a blast.
Watch the trailer if you're not in for it.
Right. Like, Tom Hardy in a absolutely bonkers action movie.
But we watched after our recent Sony love for Last of Us, like we were like, oh well, we should absolutely go to the theaters and catch Until Dawn, the Sony Pictures production.
Of a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
And a time loop movie. I love Happy Death Day.
Right. I love, like, we came out of it like God damn it, I know everything that doesn't make sense about that movie is going to have the answer because it was in the game. And I was like, yeah, none of that shit's in the game.
Actually, none of that shit's in the game. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because it felt like it was pulled out of the game.
Not 100% true. The Wendigos are in the game.
Right. Well, and like him as a psychiatrist is in the game, even though it's forced into this movie differently.
Yeah.
So Until Dawn is a time loop horror movie mess. It is carried by some really fun performances and moments. Like there were scenes we liked where like each of us we kept being in the theater like alternately bored, and then every once in a while there'd be a kill or a joke line or something.
Someone would
really
explode for no random reason.
I don't know why, but the liquid in that fucking place is explosive.
Oh my god, he's in my mouth.
Oh God! I mean, and that shit was suddenly like Goosebumps season 1 hilarious.
Yeah.
And
why does he taste like yellow Jolly Rancher?
Oh my God, that's the most disturbing part, right? Yeah, so like every once in a while there'd be really fun parts. It had the lead actress from the new Hellraiser reboot. I like her. The dude that plays her dickhead boyfriend got off some pretty funny lines. But for being a script by Gary Dauberman, who wrote, I think, It recently.
Yeah. And from the director of Lights Out.
Right. This was weak sauce. And I don't know if
fucking sleepwalk phoned in delivery.
Yeah, this felt phoned in.
Without the interesting premise and or kills, like it's so odd seeing the actors in this. Like, okay, why are there A tier actors in the game and B tier actors in the movie? That feels backwards.
Really backwards. Like, so the game cast of this is bananas. Hayden Panettiere.
Yep.
Rami Malek.
Mm-hmm.
Rami Malek.
And they weren't as big as they were now, but they were names.
Right.
Like it was after Heroes. Like people knew who they fucking were.
Right.
Grant Ward from fucking Shield.
Shield.
Yeah. No, they were all like that was the whole point of it. Peter Stormare, was the only guy that
Stormare plays himself here. I mean, plays the same character.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe himself. I haven't met him.
Maybe he's playing the same. I don't think the therapist is even named in the game, but
he's named here, and he's a weird part. Oh God, this movie's a mess.
Just a messy bitch of a movie.
It reminds me of like working in the video store. Every once in a while, I'd come across a horror movie where I'm like, "Hey, man, is that Jensen Ackles, or is that it's like some actor you recognize?" And you'd take home like, clearly someone got most of a horror movie shot. And the distributor was like, edit it together, you sons of bitches. We're making something back.
Well,
and like, that's almost how this felt. It was like, I should have found this on home video.
What's fucked up about it is that they have 13 nights to like get out of this. And yet, so I'm like, okay, so each night is going to be a new thing that tries to kill them. Like it's a new horror movie every 20 minutes in this movie. That's kind of cool.
Right.
Like, oh, cool. I get a little mini movies in this movie. Like, if you go watch Until Dawn, technically the pitch is, hey, don't you want to watch like 13 mini movies and not like, but all the horror movies exist at the same time each night.
Right.
Like there's a ghost thing and a witch that happens in the same night. Also with the mysterious
and almost nothing comes back, and the
slasher
and the bomb water and
a giant in the rain
or whatever that is. Bugs in her cheek only happens, but like there's so many. It just doesn't make any sense.
And then eventually they just run through shit with a, we don't remember the last 7 or so. Like, let's fucking look on our phone because we obviously filmed it.
Right. So, like, yeah, where's the fun for the audience of putting people through 13, like it's, the premise for this should have been, it's an anthology movie like ABCs of Death or VHS or whatever. It's 13 in a row with the same cast each time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're watching it as an audience and slowly watching one consistent thing. Like by the 5th mini movie, you should realize that like 1, maybe 2 things are consistent each time.
Yeah.
And like, okay, who is that? And like, slowly catching little glimpses each time, more and more Peter Stormare sneaking around or whatever, however you want to do it. But like, at no point in this movie did I know what the goddamn rules were.
No, it was just straight up nonsense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we watched Havoc on Netflix.
See, we saw another movie that I'm going to go ahead and mention, but we're also going to Patreon.
Right.
Because it is awesome. Honestly, it might be a Patreon we put out there for free as a public service announcement because everyone needs to go watch The Invisible Raptor right now.
Yes.
Pause this, go watch The Invisible Raptor.
It's on Amazon Prime.
You can just come back and yell along with me. Everybody needs to watch The Invisible Raptor.
My God.
Holy shit, is this a funny fucking movie.
I remember I was starting to watch it and I got like a pretty a decent way through it until I had to like stop and go, I might have found like the best movie in the world. I think you
got maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes
I got to the Dante Bosco bit.
Yes. Yeah. So which is almost, it's a little ways in. Shit's going off at that point a little.
I got to the point where in the sheriff's office, they bring in Dante Bosco in the back with a leather jacket and a mohawk, and he goes, "I'll never grow up."
Right.
I was like, what?
There are so many. They're in like Spielberg Valley. Like there are so many, not just Spielberg references, but just 80s movies references in general. Because at one point, one of the kind of bully kids goes, "Shush," which is straight out of Encino Man. Like that's what their bully does there.
Yeah.
And like there's so many fucking weird callbacks and so many Jurassic Park rips.
Absolutely.
Like Sean Astin's dressed like fucking Newman in I can't remember what his name is in Jurassic Park.
Well, the line delivery, the writing of this movie is actually fucking hilarious. Oh my God. Like we were crying laughing at some of the stuff.
We kept having to rewind it back because in every scene there's something happening in the background or somebody else is doing something while a joke is happening. There's a moment where like a mom's on the phone taking like a serious phone call or like about the plot of the movie a little bit. And in the background, her daughter is standing there. Mom, can you help me with my ant farm? I think it's broken. Like, in a second, honey, I'm on the phone. And then in the background of the scene, that kid is just, like swatting at ants, and then more and more, and then you hear they're in my hair, and then she's like screaming. Like, yeah, it's just dumb shit all throughout it. God damn it.
The Invisible Raptor is like immediately so smart, and it hatches this escape plan, and a Weekend at Bernie's fucking...
Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
Also just the dialogue of like Sean S is like, oh man, no, it's the only invisible raptor in existence. It's sad, it just doesn't have any family. Like what an insane line.
Oh my gosh. That it eats its first victim and we just find the huge pile of raptor shit.
Oh yeah.
Of this kid with a retainer in it.
Yeah. Well, the kid like after like
it's an invisible raptor. Like we've explained it.
Yeah,
it escapes, but it's invisible.
But it's invisible. It goes to a fucking dinosaur park with a paleontologist that is an expert on fossil shit. So that's how they identify it.
Right. So this is clearly a fucking Kickstarter movie, like in that tier, right? Mm-hmm. Except everybody in it is really good. Like all the acting is hilarious.
Yeah.
The delivery's great. Like on it, I have seen shitty low tier horror movies put together out of like ex SNL cast and stuff that aren't or all comedy that isn't this fast and solid. There's a lot of poop jokes for me to say that, but also the special effects are done by the guy that made Slimer for the Ghostbusters, like in '84.
Makes sense.
And which is you've got a
move stuff,
invisible creature moving around that has to bump things and move. Like honestly, they picked exactly the right classic effects guy.
Yeah,
but it also means that the gore and the dumb shit that happens and the deaths and are really good for a horror movie of this budget. Also, I love this. This might be this is close to one of my favorite movies of all time. It is
jumping on top of the car,
brilliant.
Like hitting a tree branch on the way down, like
every conceivable thing you can think of to like show weight on something or brush up. They do all of the tricks.
They reference Jaws of like smile you son of a bitch, and they attach a balloon, a mylar balloon, to mylar balloon to a
so that it's just an arrow and a balloon floating down the street.
So it's the fucking barrels like.
It's great. It's so great. Go watch The Invisible Raptor right now. Also, we're gonna stop discussing it right here because we're gonna do an entire fucking Patreon just geeking out about this movie.
Love it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, we watched some more Game of Thrones.
I did because of another Patreon, which we'll discuss more in the future. We have a little bit more.
So you're in season 2 now.
I'm middle of season 2. I've watched 5 episodes of season 2, so I've watched 15 episodes of Game of Thrones. So far.
I think I'm of the opinion of like, at least in these early seasons, I was like, okay, I think I was a little too hard on the ending of like, not too hard on the ending. I think the ending was bad, but the ending made me want to not watch. Like, oh, well, I know none of this pays off.
The ending made you, in the short term, forget that the first seasons are really good.
Well, also the first scene, like, oh, there are plot lines here that pay off because it's a long-standing, it's not about one thing. There's a lot of relationships and arcs and stuff that actually come. It's not a net negative. Like,
but there's a huge risk for writing and for audience that, like, if my favorite plot dies off in season 3, there's 5 more fucking seasons, right?
Right.
So, like, how do you keep threading? You know, if you're gonna lose Greyjoy fans or Ned Stark, I don't know, whoever's dead.
Yeah.
Greyjoy's not dead, but. If you're going to lose fans of one thread, what is it about that thread that's hooking them? Because you need to lay another one similar,
for
that audience.
Well, thank God there's so many goddamn Stark kids.
Right. So everybody's had a ton of kids, and there's weird other factions. I just haven't really, outside of like the D&D movie, I haven't watched a ton of Sword and Sorcery in a while, I don't think. And so I just never sat down for Game of Thrones. Also, there really is, this sounds hipster, and I'm sorry, I can't shake it out of me. At some point, if like 50 million Elvis fans tell me to listen, I'm one singer I'm not going to fucking listen to.
Right.
And I know I've missed out on good shit, but orneriness is the fire that fucking fuels me. And so I've just refused to watch Game of Thrones. I will fully admit it is good. This is as good as this can be done.
Yeah, well, this is the Tyrion as Hand season. Which is just fun. A bunch of great conversations between Tyrion and people like.
Right. I shouldn't like the Spider as much as I do. He's fucking cool.
It beggars the question.
Using that properly is like, my Grammarly heart.
Oh, beggars belief. That's what he says. Beggars belief.
Tyrion's girlfriend, whatever, partner, she's great.
Yeah, Shay.
Yeah, you can't like Littlefinger, but he's fun to watch.
Sure.
Season 2 just got some great conversations between people.
My losses were mitigated.
Yeah, that one, I think that's in the same episode that Cersei, that you find out, or it's right around the same time that you find out Cersei didn't know that Joffrey killed that baby.
Yeah.
Or had that baby killed. Like, it's a really solid season. Anyway, I got to power through a shitload of it. So hopefully it stays good. Nobody tell me if it shits out or anything.
Yeah, you'll be fine for a while.
Let's see, what else? I, of course, watched a little bit more Elspeth, a little bit more Ghosts. Hopefully, I'll get to interview folks from Elspeth at ATX Fest, because I know both Carrie Preston, also Sky Marshall from Matlock will also be at ATX Fest.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to getting to talk to some of my lawyer shows. Procedurals. And then also watched some Tracker, some Watson. You watched Ghost Stories, which is an animated show.
So, man, I never actually watched it before. So Ghost Stories is legendary.
You told me a little bit about the legend of Ghost Stories, right?
Yeah. And I showed you a couple of clips or whatever from it, like, to just give you an idea of what the dialogue is. So, Ghost Stories was an anime in Japan that apparently flopped in Japan. Like, just did nothing. So, in order to... when they came over to dub it, the studio that was in charge of it apparently was fine with, hey, change whatever dialogue you want as long as the stories and names are the same. So as long as the plot basically happens the same way and the names of the characters are the same, you can say whatever. So it is a lot of, and some of it is, 2000s humor, so some of it doesn't age great. But I was surprised how some of it did.
Like, some of the clips you showed me were just, like, it felt like some zinger writing, like just slipping shit in, and like
apparently a lot of that was voice actors just riffing on stuff too. Like, kid is running, like trying to run a track thing or whatever. Like this little kid that barely like, and one of the guys was like, man, he's not running fast enough. Hey, run like a big black guy is chasing you. And then the kid falls over and like is exhausted. Well, he's not racist.
Honestly, solid setup and knockdown.
Solid setup and knockdown.
God damn it.
Then like one of the ones you watched is like he just freaks out. Oh, sorry, I had a little stroke there for a second. What were you saying?
And like it's definitely like an anime I don't know, character flinch thing that I'm supposed to take as normal, but like I feel like the voice actor was like, the fuck did my character just do?
Okay, what?
Well, I had a stroke there.
Well, compulsion, that was weird. Okay, I'm sorry. What are you saying? You came in here alone? Are you a moron?
Yes, but that's beside the point.
God bless you.
They make one character a fucking born-again Christian.
That's right.
Hello, sinner. God, can you go bomb an abortion clinic or something?
You just wait. When that wonderful president finishes stacking the Supreme Court, we won't have to. Don't forget what I told you about premarital sex.
Abstinence only, got it.
If I can, I'll put some clips on some of like the funnier lines or whatever in here. But
yeah, definitely throw in some, because like it's just I really, you can feel that like it feels like the bits you showed me that the voice actor's just like, I don't know what I just watched here.
Well, man. I think in one of the episodes, I'm not sure if it was in the original story, but I think they just kill a kid so the other kid can be his understudy in a play. Like, I'm like, hey, I think that kid just died, and we're all like not fucking addressing it,
dealing with it. Yeah. That's great.
A police station! Thank God! I never thought I'd be happy to see one of those things. Hey, put the donuts down! Drop the Krispy Kreme, Serpico! We need your help
Is
here!
my house look like my father and my brother after 9 months or something?
Yeah, diggity.
Remember, if it wasn't for me, your friend would be headlining in heaven. Or according to Born Again Betty, hell, since after all he is Jewish.
Have you done your homework yet? Oh wait, you're dyslexic. Done your yet homework, Cav? You, I'm Answer. Hey, talking, me too. Which way did he go? Now we'll never find out who the ghost is. I hope to God you're adopted. Hey, can you guys hear anything? You know what I hear? I hear the sound of you shutting the fuck up.
In the meantime, I think we should go over and talk about our Patreon.
Right. Patreon.com/TV dudes.
Mm-hmm. That's where you can go over and support the podcast if, you like it. You like us. And who wouldn't?
So for a buck an episode, you can get bonus content. Yeah, just for $1, you get bonus content each week. It's where we're going to talk about things like Invisible Raptor in depth. We'll talk about Havoc. This week, we rolled out to the theater and caught Accountant 2. Or Accountant T squared.
Yes, it's like the first one, but with like 1,000% more Bernthal.
Thank God. It's roughly the same
amount
of Affleck.
The same amount of Affleck.
Yeah.
It's not the only thing you can do, though. The $20 showrunner level, you can pitch in $20 on one episode. You don't have to do it recurring. And you get to pick a show where we get to watch for a week. We'll watch 4 episodes, I think was our limit.
Yep.
4 episodes.
4 episodes of anything you want. We kind of suckered ourselves there. It could be half hour or hour, but 4 episodes feels like enough to get a vibe of a show. I mean, that's how long it took to get into Sense8. That's got to be the longest you give anything, right?
Sure.
So I think here in a week or two, we're going to be talking about John Paul's next choice, Don't Even, over on Tubi as our showrunner.
He's been on a pretty big slate of wins so far. Let's see if he can keep it up.
We have had 2 recent showrunners that are consistent. Danny handed us a bunch of pretty decent shows, even though some of them were anime. And JPV handed us a bunch of cool fucking shows. So yeah, let's see what y'all got.
Indeed. But before we get into that, I think now's about time we transition to our late night segment and talk about hacks.
Right.
Blackmail on day 1? Not good. She's been doing this for 50 years. You're not gonna beat her at her own game. Nobody beats Deborah.
This is a big moment for you. But you gotta dance with the one that brought you.
Woman of mystery.
So Hack stars Jean Smart, Hannah Einbinder, and the series centers on a professional relationship between a young comedy writer and a legendary stand-up comedian. Jean Smart plays Deborah Vance, the legendary stand-up comedian, and Hannah Einbinder, whose mom is Lorraine Newman, I believe, from SNL in the 70s. Stars as Ava Daniels, down on her luck comedy writer. So Hacks seasons 1 and 2, I think season 1 was just a surprise joy. Like I laughed my ass off at that first episode when she chases her down the fucking driveway. Like, I still hate you, but I could fix that joke.
No,
I got it. I'm like, oh god damn it, I feel that. And watching their relationship go over the first 2 seasons of like both of them kind of being train wreck people and learning from each other, but maybe not the right lessons. Came to a head in the season finale last season of Ava. So Deborah got her late night show, which seemed to be the culmination of her life, right? Is honestly where I thought the show was going to end.
It was what she got ripped away from her.
Yeah, she got fucked out of like 30 fucking years ago or something. And it's really, we were talking earlier, happy to have more Hacks back, but also that was the natural end of the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
She got that. I think this is in order to keep the show going. This feels like the decision. Like, if you were ending the show, just end it with she offers Ava the late night
head writer job.
Yeah. Ava takes it. We sail off into the sunset. But because we got another season, I feel like they made the choice to have her pointedly not offer Ava that job.
Yeah.
And she might have been fucking right in terms of like, Ava might not be ready to be a late night head writer, but Deborah's not ready to do comedy without Ava, she will go right back to her.
Honestly, the more I see this season, the more I'm like, nope, you're self-destructing like you did before, like you always do when you get scared.
Right.
You go safe. Yeah. And what they mentioned in this season,
the first safe move was not hiring Ava.
Yeah. And they mentioned in this one that like, no, you're trying to save late night. Like it wasn't between you and someone else. And I'm like, cool. So you trying to do the same thing as every other late night host is going to fucking fail.
Right, because the network knew they could do that. If they wanted to do that, they'd have done that. Yeah. They're taking a shot on you doing something different, or they're going to kill this show format, and they're going to move to something else.
Right.
Like Kimmel will stay on because he's Kimmel, and Fallon will stay on because he's Fallon, maybe. Yeah. But like, your network's about to lead the way in killing this.
The first death of late night shows, and
that's going to hang around your neck.
Right. You're going to be the one that killed it.
Right. So yeah, I think you're right that her first chicken shit safe move was not hiring Ava. But then Ava, at the end of the season finale, flexes knowing that Deborah slept with the head of the network.
Yeah.
Who is married. And it'll blow up his life and it'll look really,
really bad
for the first woman in late night to have, when that's not why she got the show.
No, but it's just going to look bad.
But it's going to look very bad. And she absolutely flexes that leverage, which feels like the culmination of everything
first season Ava wouldn't do.
No, it feels like something that, like, from you, Dad, I learned it by
watching you. And honestly, that's where the sticking point is in the relationship now. And it mostly works. I don't want to say that this season actually really funny. I really enjoy it, and I actually like having more hacks. But there's a central thing where I get that Deborah, and I understand that Deborah is being unreasonable, and I'm not supposed to be sympathetic to her thing, but like the show seems to try to be even-handing it. Like they're both wrong, and I'm like, yeah, one of you is more wrong than the other.
Wronger.
Yeah. And to me, Deborah is so much more. Her anger at Ava for doing exactly what Deb would have done, doesn't really track. Like, no, man. Also, like,
I think that's going to be to me, that's the big thing. Like, that's the thing that Deborah has to learn. But I feel like we're out past the end of the show. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they always had a plan. But it's impossible for me to not watch this season and feel like we are taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back because we have to keep these people not resolved yet. Because we have this whole season and another.
Well, it has Deborah being kind of dumb in the first episode because she tries to get Ava fired. And Ava goes, if you do that, I'll just release it.
Right.
What are you doing?
Fully calls her bluff.
Like, why are you trying to like do that? And it's just, I don't know if it's Deb not thinking it through or just being petty, but either way, it's not the smart move.
Right. And I feel like I'm seeing that. So the first couple of episodes were funny, but I couldn't not be confused looking for where I thought the show was going versus this, like what it, I don't know, that's a fair way to watch things, but it's impossible not to.
What does each one of them have to learn? I think was the like
right, and I didn't feel like I had my footing.
So in the first couple episodes, I thought it was just like Deborah just has to stop being petty, but then this latest episode,
it's more than that.
But this latest episode, there's 4 out right now.
Yeah,
and
the fourth so far has been my favorite.
They go into prepping the show, hiring writers for the show, and then they could do the first episode. I think that's the third episode. Like the third episode is the first episode of Late Night,
and then
now she's in. The 4th episode is basically after the initial curiosity bump, they're a little lower in the ratings.
Yeah, they're like 4th in the ratings now.
And they're trying to like bring their way out of it. And so in this latest episode, Deb and Ava have been going back and forth on, like the Vegas trip. Seems like they're trying to work things out and trying to meet each other halfway on what writers to hire. Like Deb wants to hire a bunch of just fucking old school writers.
Safe. Yeah.
And Ava wants to hire a bunch of new fucking blood.
And Deborah, without you, like, look, I'm meeting you halfway. I've compromised. I went through the stack and I picked 3 of the strongest plus 2 of my people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ava already came what sucks is that Ava's trying to make her job as easy as possible, and Deb is making her job harder to spite Ava.
Right.
And it makes, from the previous seasons, and what I think she has to learn and recognize, and what annoys me the most, is that the previous season it was all about getting late night. And that was what her excuse was. If I'm being mean to you or anyone else, it's because late night is what means the most to me.
You're right. Oh, damn it. You're right. Yeah.
And that was her excuse the whole last season of her being shitty. And in this season, she totally
you
shows.
have it. What's your excuse now?
She totally shows that she's willing to tank the show in order to be petty. Like, no,
it's not the thing you've been saying this whole time.
No, it's what you want, but your ego is so important to you. It's why she can't do the jokes that are She can do some jokes that are self-deprecating about her age or looks,
but not others.
But not about not being funny.
Right. There's still a tendency, but because her persona requires that she can talk about herself, but only in a safe way. There's that Hannah Gadsby kind of, you can only tell this much of the story, but not the full processing of it.
There's the second, this is my second act. The second act is the, code for no one wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
And she has a hard time saying that joke.
Right.
Which is a pretty tame.
Right. No, but it hits something in her but something that she can't even look straight at. In the same way that she can't look straight at the fact that Ava does matter to her, like as a person.
Yeah. Her opinion and thoughts and feelings matter to you on a level. And because
it's why that moment in the episode 3.
Yeah.
That moment where Carol Burnett has told her to picture one person and do the act for them. That was really nice.
So that's, if anything out of the season, why I'm like, if any nitpicks I do have, that moments like that are why I'm like, you know what, I'm glad I have more hacks, because that was a fucking great, very simple but powerful moment of giving just pick a person in the audience and give the show to them. And she picks Ava.
Yeah.
She wants to make Ava laugh.
But also that goes against being Deborah Vance.
She's
capital letter Deborah
so
Vance.
The struggling of, I think Deborah Vance wants to be liked by everybody and needs to be a hit. But Deborah as a person wants Ava to like her because she's the only friend she's ever really had. Marcus has not been seen in a minute.
Right. Well, she about ruins him too.
And she about fucks and destroys his entire goddamn life. Like,
man, when he loses on her, no, I have given nothing. She turns on him in the bedroom
because of a perceived betrayal.
Where he's like, "Are you an insane person?
Yeah. I've done nothing but help you.
Like, this isn't as good as Michael Jordan's Nike deal. Like, no, Michael Jordan's Nike deal was good. This is great. Like, do you understand what I have gotten you here?
Yeah. Do you understand what I've done here? The legwork on this.
Right. Like, this is Marcus trying to be the best he can be leaving.
And again, it's people have bent over backwards around her to do a lot of prep work to make her life easier. And she's almost resentful for them because of that.
I think there's a piece of her that is, so like you talked about like Deborah Vance, the comedian, wants to be liked by everybody and knows how to do that by being funny. But but somewhere deep inside there's a tiny Deborah Vance, the person, that wants to be liked by a couple of people.
Yeah.
But won't reach out for it because they are sure that will lose them the funniness.
Yeah, being vulnerable.
So like if she's vulnerable and really shows that she cares about Ava, will that make her like other women who to her aren't funny?
Yeah. Yeah. And
like, she is a mom, but doesn't see herself as a mom because moms suck.
It's so funny that in the demographics meeting, with that
she clearly doesn't view herself as a woman. Oh, women.
That numbers guy, he's a fucking
dude, the data
genius.
guy is the genius.
Yeah,
that actor kills it with his Ben Stein shit.
Like, you gotta appreciate the MILFs and GILFs, and like, oh, come on, that's such an outdated notion. Like, no, actually, porn search histories are very much high in that
MILF, which stands for mom's. I'd like.
So she's not wrong in pointing out the correlation.
The younger demographic. He means teens. Kayla. No, she's correct.
Nope, she is also correct. Well, I mean,
but it's not good to encourage her.
We got to get moms between the ages of 25 and 35. They're the ones who spend most money on ads.
Are you saying women should be shopping?
In the demographics, data analytics we have, yes, in this case, they be.
They do be. Yeah, according to the data, they do be.
I love that guy. I watched the whole thing with him.
Oh God. Yeah. So like you said, like I was a little it's a little shaky the first couple of episodes back, but by up 4, I was really happy with this most recent up, and I'm just generally happy to have hacks back.
Women don't like that women demographic, like, yeah, apparently they don't like you, and I'm like, yeah, they don't like you, but she doesn't like them.
No, they
fucking feel it.
Right. Like she looks down at them and doing meetings like, oh, you know what those dumb bitches like?
Yeah.
Probably makeovers and cooking stuff, right?
Yeah.
They're into dumb shit.
No, it's condescending.
It is so condescending. And And not that Ava wanting to force everybody at home to Google a bunch of fucking shit.
I'm sorry, but her pitch for the independence...
But that Declaration of Independence bit is pretty good and lowbrow. Come on, that's lowbrow.
The joke of that is like CVS receipt that's so long the Declaration of Independence is on it.
Right.
There, yeah.
And also Deborah in a wig, which is just always... that the original pitch of that is like, so it's the Declaration of Independence signing, but Deborah's there, and she's in a wig. Like a different wig.
Like a different wig.
I'm like...
But also, like, and I feel like the storyline is supposed to be that Ava needs to compromise her ideals there, and then Deborah needs to come up to her level as well. But I feel like a lot of these episodes, Ava's already done a lot of pre-compromising. I mean, in this latest episode, she kind of backslides a little bit when she meets up with those other writers and gets a little insecure about it.
Right. That and to me that shows the worry I would have about Ava on her own. You couldn't just put Ava in charge of Kimmel's show.
No. But she's honestly, her level of teamwork, like she pre-vetted that list of people.
Right.
Like,
no, she's doing her job.
She's ready to actually do the work and compromise with a woman that kind of she does not like right now.
Right. Like Ava did the extortion and took the job knowing that I am now going to be working hand in hand with a person who will hate me. Like, I don't think she thought that it would go this bad.
They're both insecure, but only Deborah's really immature.
Right. Deborah's the one, like, sending... are those your panties? Okay, the holes in them say yes.
Yeah.
But I did not put those on your desk. Man, when she's like, besides you're gay, so that would be a weird... Don't assume my sexuality. There's a photo of your wedding to a man on your desk. Don't assume who that man is to me.
That man could be anybody.
Don't assume that man's connection to me.
But yeah, they break down the relationship, and to me, Ava's just not always in the right, but like more in the right most of the time, and it feels unbalanced in a way.
Ava just needs regular people around her to pull her back.
And in the previous seasons, it felt more even-handed.
Right.
Like it felt that Deb needs to teach Ava stuff, and Ava needs to teach Deb stuff.
But like if Ava were to fuck off for a month,
Deborah
would lose this show.
It would be destroyed.
And if Deborah were to fuck off there'd be no host. But like, if Deborah were to stop doing her bullshit for a month and just let Ava run it, they would not succeed, but they'd stay okay. Other normal writers in a normal writer's room could pull Ava back from her most high,
another
most
producer or whatever. She can listen to another person.
Right. Someone could back her off her pretension. No one can back Deborah Vance off of a grudge.
Except for maybe Ava. Like can we get to a point where there's a relationship that Deborah has? She doesn't have the same relationship with her own daughter like she has with Ava.
No, and I think like
do you realize like Deborah's actually okay with her daughter not really liking her?
Right.
In a way that she isn't with Ava. She desires Ava's approval more than her fucking daughter.
Right. Because like she didn't have her daughter in the audience for her first show.
No. I mean, some of that's probably just not getting the actress back.
But also like back,
but also
and she's pregnant somewhere.
The rest of the seasons, that relationship has never been portrayed as very...
No, it's terrible. And I like knowing that Deborah knows Ava's her person.
Yeah.
By that give the show to one person scene.
And I feel like Ava doesn't.
But not being able to accept it yet.
Yeah.
So that she's still... Because her not doing that joke on the cue card is a lash out. Like angry. Slap somebody.
Like a domestic violence.
Right.
Almost.
You lost control of yourself there because you just fucking shot the one thing you love in the foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, holy fuck. You knew that joke wasn't going to go as well not doing it off the cue. Like,
yeah, you bombed it. So
even just the moment of having to decide what joke to do reads on camera.
If you were a pure comedian, you'd have run the joke and yelled at her afterwards.
Right.
But you would have run the joke because you knew it was going to be funny.
So like little things showing that like something in Deborah knows, but can't say it even to herself yet.
Well, there's that.
And I'm wondering who in the show is going to be the first person that says it to her and gets through. I hope it's Jimmy.
There's that moment
Kayla.
After the first show is one of the better episodes because like after the first show is done before it airs, they all go like, "Oh, let's go out to dinner or whatever," and Deborah says no to Jimmy because she's going to go out with everybody else.
Yeah,
and she's going to go out with the talent, whoever was on the.
And with Helen Hunt.
Yeah, Helen Hunt.
Like she was going to go out with like real powerful people.
Yeah, and they cancel on her, and she has no one to go with anymore. And Ava,
she's the least powerful person at that table.
Yeah, and Ava,
like she's desperately begging her way up to that.
She's always doing that, man. Same with Kristen Bell in that other episode. Like,
but then Ava
is trying to have because in her mind she's done it. What a success, and she wants to celebrate with somebody. But these writers are so tired, and they just want to go home.
But also, like that spoke to me of Ava trying to do the job, quote unquote, correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I know I'm not this person. Like, I shouldn't invite people out for parties and stuff. But this is what you do.
This is what you do, right?
You know, on our tab, you know, you guys go out and celebrate it. It's a long week.
And she ends up in that fucking sex shop to try and like validate her parking. Meets up with her throuple.
Yep.
Conversation. Like, and honestly, the throuple is cute. But Deborah sees them together, and it was one of those things that scene was interesting to me because Deb sees them together, and she immediately gets this look on her face and comes over and kind of fucks with her, and I'm like, why? It's not because of like, you know, she's been bi, or is it the fact that she is in for a moment happy?
To me, there's so like when they've talked about like Deborah's run grudges for years, and like in season 1 or 2, whenever she first gets mad at Ava and she sues her for that email that she sends to the reporter or whatever, sues her for I think it was that. Even after they reconcile, she keeps the lawsuit going.
Yeah.
And like, there's a gleam in her eye of like, Deborah likes this.
What sucks to me is that she used to like the back and forth.
And at that table is when, like, that scene, I think, is like Deborah goes over there because this is a thing we're doing.
Yeah.
I fuck with you, you fuck with me. And Deborah's not been realizing these 4 episodes that Ava's not played it this whole season.
No.
Ava's not done any of it back.
Well, she loses a lot of power in that scene because she comes over to fuck with her, and Ava's tired. She doesn't want to do this anymore. Like, and what Deb being mean to her doesn't land anymore because she's used to it.
All of it lands awkward. Like all of her
whatever
barbs. Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I'm gay. I'm the lesser of the third. Haha. Like,
right.
And it doesn't.
So is there a 4th, or is 3rd the lowest you can place? It's a pretty good line.
And it doesn't hurt her feelings because she's just so used to it.
Right.
But then the 2 lines she gets off on Deborah, like one just being,
God damn.
One wasn't even a dig. One was just,
so you two
do you know each other before? Not very well. I just wrote jokes for her.
And that hurts Deborah.
Well, on her, man, it closes on her face, and that hurt her in a way.
Well, that's when she says, I should go.
Yeah. I didn't want them to watch it until it got good.
Yeah, because Deborah excuses herself after the I don't know her that well thing, which is like where it like, fuck, we're not playing the game I thought we were playing. Well, and stands up, and that's when like, well, but you guys will watch the show tonight, and then realizes they don't watch the show, which is bad enough. That Ava is in a throuple and hasn't even told them to watch the show. Mm-hmm. But it's worse that she's told them to wait till it gets good. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that like, because it's just honestly, like, what did you want her to say? Like, oh, do we know each other from back? Oh no, I just wrote jokes for her. And like, what did you want her to say? You're my best friend.
Right.
Obviously you don't think that right now.
No, but somewhere
you
did.
Want me. You want me. So
somehow
what do you want?
Somehow she did, though.
You want me to be your best friend, but also you can't see me as anything but your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Like, and Deborah, and it shows to me that, and it's one of those things that annoys me as a character that is just a hypocrite. Because like, man, all you ever do is tear people down. But then one person says one thing that, yeah, it is devastating, but honestly seems to be kind of what you want.
Right.
You don't want, like, you keep saying, if you tell people how to treat you, then you can't be surprised and shocked when they treat you like that.
Right. And kind of, again, this is Ava taking yet another, like, this is Ava doing a very Deborah thing back to you.
Yeah. All you've been saying to Ava this entire season is, we are not friends. You're a piece of shit. Once this is over, I'm never talking to you again.
Right.
And Ava's internalized and fine. And now you're hurt by it.
Right. And Ava's internalized it and yet is still trying to write you the best fucking show she can.
She's, man, to me, it more feels like Ava is a sad, like, I used to, like we make fun of it, but like, it really is like a like, not a romantic pairing, but like a married couple, like, well, I used to love this, but like an ex-wife,
right?
Like, well, I'll always do something for her because we used to be very close and I used to love her, but
Learning every lesson your mentor has to teach up to the level where you realize that you both need to go to therapy to get any further. Like she's taken every lesson she can take from Deborah, but that's left you both broken.
What's the HR woman's name?
I can't remember what her real name is. I mean, what her character name is. It's Michaela Watkins. She's fucking hilarious in this. Oh God, when she's like, I have to pee so bad. Can we finish this in the bathroom?
They're not allowed to speak without her present anymore.
Monitoring it. And then she in that thing, so like, I'm gonna have to introduce a volume jar where you put like $1 in every time you yell.
Yeah.
And then with it, like by the next episode, she pulls the volume jar.
$4,000 in here.
$4,000 in here. I'm not comfortable having that in my car.
Like sister got knocked unconscious for less.
All her background lines are weird and insane. And I love that Deborah's almost cantankerous enough to cast Dance Mom. If Ava had really pushed for Dance Mom somehow, I think in that scene she would have immediately fought Ava on it. Like she was already just being ornery. But I love that they're going back and forth of like, oh, she's got a lot of followers. Yeah, so did Manson. And then Michaela Watkins.
They both really don't want to. It's the first time they've been on the same page about anything.
Right, which is probably fucking with her.
Yeah.
And then Michaela Watkins is like, well, I loved her. Okay, that's a no.
Right.
like so that makes the decision, right?
It makes me think that Deborah made a good decision on accident.
Right. No, because she was already one of those, like, if you're trying to look for where her decision making broke down, it's earlier than you think because she lucked into that decision.
Yeah.
Like somewhere between her making the compromise on the writers, or there's been so many close moments. I think that's what's frustrating about the season. Like I'm really enjoying the season, but what's frustrating is there's been so many close moments where Deborah's almost grown.
Well, it's one of those things that
she almost grew in the strip club. I thought we were going to go into that room and sit down and write the whole show in a fucking champagne room.
It's so weird because it's now on Deborah because every time Ava reaches out, she fucking slaps her hand back.
Right.
It's like, okay, I guess I'm waiting for you to reach out then.
Right. And I think after the table conversation, the throuple conversation in this episode, I am interested to see. It's not going to be what I want, but I'm interested to see how Deborah reacts to. She's either going to see that in herself, like she's either going to recognize something happened there, and I need to talk to someone about it. Not process it all, but like at least recognize it, or she's going to go do something fucking insane to distract herself.
Yeah,
I bank on the latter because we've got a whole other season. I don't know what it'll be. She can't lose the show. We have a whole nother season.
I'm already a little tired of them being at each other's throats. It feels a little old hat at this point.
Right. I want that. That's kind of why I was happy with Ep 4 feeling like it was coming to some sort of head, like that, because that throuple conversation like looked like it really hurt Deborah. I'm hoping that we are at some kind of sea change. Because I'd like them to change over. Big question. Do you think she loses the late night show at the end of this season?
I think that would put her in a spot that would be hard to write out of another season 5 or something. Because
like, is retiring off of the late night show the end of her career, or does she have a second act? Does she have a third act?
I would say
Letterman's bearded Netflix show.
I would say that she'd go back to stand up basically. Yeah. But Ava already had her fucking conquer that in Vegas. Like her stand up act got better.
Because I don't think there's anything left to conquer in stand up for her, and I don't know where to move after this.
Honestly, I think what I would find more likely is that the next season is not about her losing the show. It would be about the success of the show going forward, and then Deborah realizing she doesn't really want to do this anymore. Like, she actually wants to just fucking hang back.
But she wanted to have it, but not do it.
Like, no, I just wanted the option. I was mad that they took this option away from me.
That they wouldn't. Yeah, that like doing one lap, proving I can, and then fuck all of y'all.
So I think after the end of this season, the show will work, and like it has to be a point then where her leaving is just her idea, not because she's not doing.
I think that'd be a cool. How does Deborah retire out of the show and the show keep going? And how does Deborah retire out and Ava's career continue?
Right.
So season 4 to me would be uncoupling their career.
Yeah, you got to go on without me now.
In a way that we've attempted to badly multiple times throughout the show so far, but they would have that to me would be So she's, in my opinion, after this season, she should keep the show. all the way through the end of the Hacks, and Hack should end at season 4.
Yeah.
I love the show, but let's arc these fucking people, please.
Right.
But I think that would be that's the big arc of the show is how do you leave Ava in a place where she can have her own career?
I would either that or have her to the point where Deborah actually can work with people and learn stuff now, and at that point she wouldn't need Ava.
Mm-hmm.
She could do it with another person and be like, no, you should go off and forge your own career, do whatever you want to do. You now got late night under your belt. You got you can go do whatever you want.
Do whatever.
And I would go like, I don't need you anymore, but more importantly, you don't need me anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be in a spot where they could believably be friends, not at work.
Right.
And Deborah's not capable of that right now. People are employed
and
by
just hang.
All of her oldest friends are employees.
Yeah, that's what's really sad about, like, the minute Marcus doesn't work for her anymore, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That feels sad to me.
And in the year there was like 4 or 5 years she mentions where Pelafina
yeah
didn't work for her, and like they didn't talk in those years. They're just gone. Yeah, they're not friends, they're employees. They're like the elves.
Yeah, deeply.
Chuck the elves? Who? Nothing.
But I mean, man, we didn't even mention Kayla.
Oh my gosh.
Our favorite fucking character.
Yeah, so Jimmy and Kayla running their own agency and still arguing about whose name is first.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh god, Kayla's insane LinkedIn hire.
Oh my god, the fucking secretary she hires.
Yeah,
this old woman who just saw Speed. Have you seen Speed?
It's amazing. Sorry, I keep making bus references. I just saw Speed. Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
You should represent her.
Tell you what, I should be both of your assistants. Like,
just the insanity of like, oh no, a week ago I was a Orthodox Hasidic Jew, and now I think I'm an atheist and gay. So it sounds fast. You gotta be aggressive.
But also, man, Kayla is that level of,
I don't know how that woman stays on like that in every scene.
A bitch, like, is the on level of Joe from Mythic Quest, like Lindsay from You're the Worst,
right?
Like crazy sauce, like
I remember seeing a thing about how an interview with Busta Rhymes in the 90s about like how he rapped, and it showed him in the studio, and he does like one line at a time, and then they would cut them insanely close together, and that's how he sounds like he never fucking breathes,
right?
Like, while rapping, like, and I remember like, okay, that makes sense. That's what I would have to assume. Like, the actress playing Kayla has to take a fucking deep breath and charge into every scene at 1,000%, and it cannot flag. Like, I think that you couldn't do a single take movie with her. It would kill the actress.
What is this coffee? Hot? I asked for ice.
I'm half gorilla mode.
Half gorilla mode all the time.
You'll know.
You don't want full gorilla
mode. You
see, that's what happens when you're nice, Jimmy. Is that you give people the option to say no. You mean consent? Yeah, whatever, bitch.
She's insane. I love Kayla so much, and that she is dead sure that Jimmy has an insane crush on her. Like, every once in a while, she just mentions that like Jimmy's definitely in love with her, and the whole plane thing when he asked her last season when he asked her to work for. But then all of her background lines when they're talking to Dance Mom. Jeannie Nicholson, I think is the actress's name, Mayor of Easttown. She turned a bunch of shit. She's fucking great. I'm glad she's having a great few years. She's a TikTok popular star. They're from Alberta, Canada. They fly to the States for like the first time. But when Kayla's talking to them, and Jimmy's like, no, but imposter syndrome happens to everybody. I know you're nervous about auditioning. Even I get imposter syndrome. It happens to everyone. And Kayla just immediately, not me.
Well, it happens to most people. It
happens to most women. Okay, so a bunch of women and Jimmy. Like, all of her background stuff is just the weirdest digs. Oh man, Jimmy cannot stop watching your videos really late at night. Well, not only late at night. Yeah, really late. Very late at night. Like, why would you add that? Yeah. Kayla remains the greatest thing on the show. I think scene to scene, like she's the sprinkles on top that make it.
Well, also we got to go to Vegas and see our favorite blackjack dealer.
Yes,
like fucking insane. We're like, oh man, it's been a minute since I've seen you.
Yeah, No, I know she's in Vegas and she doesn't like LA. Like, she's great though. Also her, I'm engaged, but I'm not marrying him. Great.
See you later.
I'll call you. Yeah, she's nuts. And she's one of the first people that like Ava telling her, like the psychic that Deborah hires on as producer of the show, that woman coming in and like, you had the cleanest door I'd ever seen. Oh, it's gone now. Like, well, yeah, Deborah's definitely told this woman that Ava's a bitch.
Yeah.
That she hates her. But Kimmy, I don't think, no. And it like, so Kimmy just hears her like, oh no, how did Deborah, so Deborah hired you. That's so good. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, actually, no, I had leverage on her and I used it. Oh no. That's really sad and dark and fucked up. Like, I forgot how much I loved her blackjack dealer, her personal blackjack dealer. No, that woman holds a grudge forever. Did you ever hear about Jennifer, the woman before me? Yeah. No, I think she's a doctor in Macau now. So it turned out fine. She cannot, like, that was the last hand she ever dealt.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Not just this casino. Like,
yeah. That was insane.
Man, I'm surprised that we did not make more of a meal of who ratted on that Vegas trip.
Right.
Because one of those writers
fucking ratted. Right. And I did like Riff Killer.
Oh my god.
But that dude I'm sorry. I'm sorry. For what? If you don't
know, that's fine.
Then that's fine. Moving on. Like, solid.
But yeah, just watching all of them riff in a room and, Deborah shoot shit down is depressing in the way of like, I don't know what the show looks like when her late night show is going to look like when it works fully. But like, as far as I can tell, I'm like, man, it's your monologue and interview. Maybe you're just Colbert. I don't know. Maybe you don't need a gimmick.
And I don't understand why we talked about like they should be leaning into. One person in that focus group actually said something sensible, didn't realize it. The lady that's like, I love it when she roasts people.
Yeah.
Deborah's an amazing and acerbic stand-up comic.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, Dennis Miller used to do rants. Bill Maher did rules or something like that.
Sure.
Like, there should be Deborah's Corner where she just fucking picks a topic.
Sure. And, really grinds my gears.
Right. Absolutely. And like, give her a second monologue that's just something different,
Right. So here's the topical one at the top of the show, and here's the mean one.
Right. Like in the middle of the show, she should get fed up with the interviews, walk over to have a moment to herself where she fixes a drink, sits back, and has a cocktail on television, and just lays into whatever dumb shit. And if you can tie it to whatever got mentioned in the interview, do it.
Oh, man, that would be funny.
And then like, all right, back at it.
Man, I would have
like, Carson used to do this, but with a curtain over him. So
I would have the guest just sit there and have the camera, like a split camera on, like waiting for her to come back. I like the fear of having that you're going to have this interview and at some point she's going to fuck off and leave for 5 minutes.
Right. Like she has her own green room. She just goes and sits in.
Yeah. And that's part of the show, and she's going to shit talk whatever you just said.
Right.
And you just got to sit there for 5 minutes and be like,
dude, make it like an encore, like how everybody in the crowd. Who was it? Was telling me they were at a show and they heard someone behind them in the crowd go, "I've seen this on TikTok. The band is faking and they're going to come back out." And like Fred was like, "An encore. Band's going to do an encore."
Yeah.
It's not a TikTok thing. It's
not fake.
Been around forever.
Okay. Yeah.
But yes, it is a fake thing. Like, it's dumb.
Yeah,
we know goddamn well you're coming back out for 2 songs, you fucking assholes.
Yeah, like I don't why are we
But like
doing
I would
this?
play it like that of like the guest just sitting there of like, do I need to clap and say Deborah enough times?
I would let them sit there for 5 minutes and watch them get uncomfortable.
Right.
Like,
and you're right, just have the camera on it the entire time.
Like, god damn it. I think that would be a pretty good format.
Honestly, yeah. There, we fixed your show.
There you go, Deb.
Not Hacks. The Late Night with Deborah Vance.
Late Night with Deborah Vance.
The fictional show within Hacks.
Hacks is pretty good.
There you go. Hacks is pretty good. Well, that's probably going to wrap it up for us this week.
I think so.
Tune in next week. We're going to check out Jean Paul's latest Patreon showrunner pick, Don't Even, over on Tubi.
But until then,
TV Dudes out!
Well, aren't you a big, brave girl? I guess I am. It's for the best. We'll see.